This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, Translating Trumpese. Like a lot of people, I often get confused by news reports expressing different interpretations of what President Donald Trump allegedly said. Even when you hear it yourself, it is not uncommon to read or hear a different interpretation altogether from the press. At first, I thought it was nothing but spin by the mainstream media, but it finally occurred to me Americans speak two different languages based on English, liberal and Trumpese. It is a simple matter of translation. In studying the lexicon of both, I have discovered how liberals translate Mr. Trump's comments and vice versa. For example, when liberals say something is backwards, it is translated to forwards for everyone else. Other examples include disabled equals strong, disgruntled equals happy, and so on. You get the idea. There's a more complete list of these items in my article today. Now let's consider how these words apply. In a recent joint statement issued by Senators Chuck Schumer and Representative Nancy Pelosi, the two are quoted as saying, President Trump's brazen insults and denigration of one of America's most steadfast allies, Germany, is an embarrassment. His behavior this morning is another profoundly disturbing signal that the president is more loyal to President Putin than to our NATO allies. Now, to translate this for everyone else, President Trump's truthful observations and compliments of one of America's most shaky allies, Germany, is an achievement. His behavior this morning is another profoundly refreshing signal that the president treats both the same, President Putin and our NATO allies. Let's try another by Representative Maxine Waters. For example, Maxine said, Already you have members of your cabinet who have been booed out of restaurants. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore anywhere. Now the translation for everyone else. Already you have members of your cabinet who have been cheered out of restaurants. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see somebody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you heartily welcome them. And you tell them they're loved and appreciated. Now, this handy translation filter works both ways. For example, when Mr. Trump says, We've had a very amazing 2-day period in Brussels. Everyone has agreed to substantially up their commitment. They're going to up it at all levels that they're never thought of before. And now we're very happy and have a very, very powerful, very, very strong NATO, much stronger than it was 2 days ago. Now, here's how the liberals hear it. We've had a very catastrophic 2-day period in Brussels. Everyone has disagreed to substantially up their commitment. They're going to bring it down to levels that they've never thought of before. And now we're very disgruntled and have a very, very disabled, very, very weak NATO, much weaker than it was 2 days ago. Okay, now try it yourself. Suppose you are a liberal and you want to say something like this. 45 is the worst president in American history. He should be impeached if for no other reason than campaign violations and treason. Nominating a Supreme Court justice under such a cloud of suspicion is ridiculous. Therefore, you must not move forward with any nominee proposed by 45. So the translation for everyone else is, President Donald J. Trump is the best president in American history. He should be reelected if for no other reason than being elected over crooked Hillary and making America great again. Nominating a Supreme Court justice under a proven track record is inspiring. Therefore, you must move forward with any nominee proposed by President Donald J. Trump. Perhaps the best way to think of Trumpese is as a foreign language requiring translation tools, such as those provided by Google. And I cannot wait to see how it is implemented by the people at Babbel. Business people will understand Trumpese better than most people, as it is ultimately derived from those who are results-oriented and not politically correct. Remarkably, most news anchors and reporters from the mainstream media are fluent as well, as demonstrated by their interpretation immediately following a speech or news conference by President Trump. So you see, Trumpese is actually quite simple. It's not that we do not agree, we simply do not speak the same language. The following has been a public service announcement for a better America. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.